It's Bree, and I have a story for you. If you've been here before, thanks for stopping by. And if you're new here, go ahead and click that red button and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell for notifications, because I know after this video, you guys are going to want to see Bree all the time, every time I upload. So I just got done filming one video that I was like really passionate about. You know, I was damn near yelling the entire video. And I was like, you know what? I am on a roll. Like, I want to film another video. So I'm going to tell you guys about my psycho ass boss and the job that hated me. Because I always read you guys' comments, and I know that you guys want to know more about our work experience. By the way, I got a job. And because I have a job, I was like, oh, okay, well, let me give them what they asked for and tell them about the worst job I ever fucking had. I don't know if I'm gonna call this video my psycho boss, the job that hated me, the worst job I ever had. I really feel like this was the worst job I ever had, so we're going with that. Let's get into it. This story time takes place last year, or was it 2 years ago? Bro, I feel like it was a year and a half ago. Let's go somewhere in the middle. So this story time takes place a year and a half ago. I wanted to have a stable job to where I could be able to maintain my home and, you know, operate my channel from this vicinity. When I was thinking about jobs that I would want to do, I definitely had the mindset of like, I want to work in the office, I want to be a receptionist, I want to do something like fashion based. I applied to be like administrative assistant, showroom assistant, something like that, like admin, showroom assistant for a private label. The private label which I worked for, they actually made clothes for your favorite stores like Nordstrom, Bloomies, Urban Outfitters was like a big vendor. I remember I applied for this job and they sent me back like some questions. They were like follow-up questions like, oh, how would you deal with this if you were at the workplace? And they wanted me to respond to them in like paragraph form, and I was like, bitch, this is too much. But something pushed me, and I was like, okay. So I took the time, I googled some of the questions so I could give like a more decent response. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, one of the questions was, if you start off as administrative assistant, where do you see yourself in 3 years within the company? And I was like, I would like to see myself in a managerial role. Like, I just learned how to answer that question properly, because usually when jobs ask me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm like, famous, successful, not here. You know what I'm saying? But I took the initiative, did it, and then I got an interview. So I go downtown, go to the interview, and I really thought that my boss, like the lady who interviewed me, I really thought she was beautiful. Like, I thought that she was like, she literally is like the prettiest, clearest skin Korean lady ever. And so like I interviewed with her, and then she liked me, so she brought 2 other girls in, and those 2 other girls interviewed me. These girls worked well under pressure. And I feel like that's why the lady who was interviewing me, my boss, brought them in to see if I would be able to match that energy. Make a long story short, I interviewed, I met with them, I was confident, I'm always confident, and I got the job. So they bring me on, and I start like, let's just say the same week. I start like 2 days after they like me. I feel like I want to say that I work good under pressure, but that will kind of be lying to you guys, because sometimes I don't know how to like prioritize my tasks. So sometimes I end up doing double work. Sometimes I end up doing assignments in the least productive way. Okay? So I'm not going to say that, you know, I work as well under pressure as I think I do, because I kind of just sat here and thought about it, and I'm not that good under pressure. Like, ask anybody, I'm going to shut down and have a mental breakdown. Yeah, so basically it's a private label, but they had 2 different kind of labels. And my boss, the woman, she ran everything, but her husband ran a subdivision of everything. So he ran one brand while she ran both. When I got the job, the girls who came in to see like if I was a good fit, my 2 coworkers, they were like,
okay, you're like the 13th girl that we've gone through. The turnover rate for this position has been very high.
Instantly, I feel like, oh shit, I'm not gonna make it. Instantly, I feel like that. Because it's like, well, I told you guys in the interview, if you train me and I feel comfortable in my training, I will be able to do the best that I possibly can. They're like,
yeah, you know, we've had a lot of girls, and they don't really like working with Jojo.
That's what we're gonna call him. So
they don't really like working with Jojo. You know, I guess he stresses the girls out. But every time a girl quits, we take on their responsibility. Even though Jojo sucks and he's gonna make you wanna quit, we're still gonna do the best that we can because we need you to stay on.
So my first day, you know, I kind of get the idea of who Jojo is. While I'm being trained with one of my coworkers, he sends me like a Google Hangout chat. I couldn't see his Google Hangout message because I had the software that we use to upload samples and all our products and where our products are going. So I guess he had messaged me more than one time. This was my first day, bitch. And he got exasperated, so he started calling my coworkers. So the coworker that was training me, her desk started ringing first, but she was with me, so she ignored it. And then I had a coworker who worked, like, there was like always a rack of clothes right here, and she worked on the other side of the rack. And she was like, oh, like, Jojo wants to talk to you. Bitch, I start freaking out. I'm like, oh no, like, I don't want to be that person. And you guys said you went to 13 girls already. I don't want to be the 14th. And then I'm looking at my coworker who's training me. I have like fears in my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, I fucked up. And she's like,
girl, he's always like this. He's never even on top of his shit, and he expects everybody else to be on top of their shit to make him look good. Like, don't even trip. I will tell him I was training you.
So she gets up, she goes to her desk, she calls him. She's like, oh, you know I was training her, right? And he's like, oh, like, never mind, I'm gonna be on the way, let me talk to her. So then she transfers the call to my desk, and he's like, hey, this is literally how he would talk.
Hey, you know, I understand you're getting trained right now. I understand it's like your first day, but I'm gonna need you to constantly always check your Google Hangouts and your emails because that's where I will be communicating with you. Blah, blah, blah.
So I suck up my pride. I'm like, look, maybe he's under a lot of pressure because this is my first day. I'm already under a lot of pressure. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then he's like, I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna train you right now. Mind you, he was just gonna come and reteach me everything that I was already being taught. But whatever. So he comes over, he trains me, and I'm the kind of girl, I take notes. I take notes. Let me show y'all one of my random notebooks where I'm thinking about YouTube. This is one of my notebooks. This is one of my dream journals. I take fucking notes. He really tried to play me. So he comes and he's like,
oh, I hope you're going to be writing all of this down because I'm not going to repeat it. And a lot of the girls that I train, they nod and they make it seem like they understand. And then when it's time to do the work, they don't get it.
So at this point, I'm like, why would I start a new job, not take any notes, and just nod my head? Why would I do that? My first week at that job, if we're going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit, I just kind of felt like, what did I do to this man? I kind of started to get like a little insecure. I kind of started to feel in my feelings a little bit because I'm like, well, is this gonna be a work environment where I feel like I can reach my potential, where I feel like I'm gonna be trained, you know, where I feel like I'm gonna be able to work to the best of my ability? I really started to feel some type of way to the point where I would go to my coworkers and I would be like, you know, tell me about this other girl. Like, did Jojo like the other girl better? Like, what was she like? How did she dress? Like, bitch, I wanted to keep this job. I would have started dressing like the girl if they told me, like, you know, if they really broke down, she dressed like this, she looked like this, I would have been like her doppelganger. I would have did anything because I genuinely liked the job. We used to do a lot of like samples back and forth from the warehouse to the showroom, okay? The showroom is like the actual retail place. There would be times where I would be going around a actual warehouse facility looking for clothes that was not even there for 2 days. Get emails telling me how incompetent I am looking for merchandise that was not even there. That was so fucking humbling to do 2 days of work for somebody to call me on the phone and be like, oh, I found it, and never get an apology. Just take the L. Another reason why this job was like one of the worst jobs of my life is because I would be in charge of, like, say my boss, she goes to Abercrombie, she goes to Hollister, she goes to Nordstrom, she goes to Urban, she goes to Anthro. She buys like thousands of dollars worth of shit. Casually can't find the return label. It was literally like Devil Wears Prada. Like, you know, like in the Devil Wears Prada where Meryl Streep is like, oh, my twins read all the Harry Potter books, we need the next book. And Anne Hathaway's like, oh yeah, no worries, I'll go to Barnes & Noble. She's like, no, bitch, My twins read all the books. I need the manuscript. That's what my job felt like. I felt like, okay, so you bought all of this shit. You don't know where the return label is. I had to think like my boss, for my boss, and ahead of my boss. And it's like some people are built like that. Like some people just have it like that. I feel like I am more like my boss in the sense of, look, bitch, it's my job to buy all this merchandise and do market research, competitive market research. It's your job to figure out how to return it because I need this money back. Oh my God. Just thinking about it is just thinking about it's pissing me off. You guys kind of get the idea of how every day I was going to work, I was doing damn near the impossible. Is it damn there or damn near? I was doing damn near the impossible. At the time, I felt like they were paying me enough to do all the stuff that I was stressed out to do. By this point, I was already having mental breakdowns. Like, there would be times where my boss would give me instruction and her husband, Jojo, would give me instruction that conflicted with each other, excuse me. And I would just be standing there like, okay, well, he's my direct boss and he tells her when I'm fucking up, but she told me to do this, but she didn't tell her husband. But if her husband tells her that I didn't do this right, and then she tells me that she told me to do this, and then it's on me, but these people live together, like, bitch, their relationship was, do I even want to get into that? They would get in full-blown arguments. Have you guys ever seen your parents fight? And you're like, damn, are y'all about to get a divorce? That's how I would feel. I would feel like that, like, oh my God. All I was doing was following instructions and I'm about to tear a family apart. He had no idea what he was doing with the business. And that's why this is one of the worst jobs I ever had. There would be times, even prior to this whole, like, situation that I've just described, there would be times where he would call me on the phone just to cuss me out. Just to make me feel like shit. I don't think that that was his intention, but I feel like his wife made him feel incompetent. His wife made him feel like shit, and he projected that onto his employees, which is why they went through 13 employees. I remember one time I'm on the phone with Jojo, and he's like,
oh yeah, that other email.
And I'm like, okay, which other email? Because I have been trying my best to, like, reply to all of them.
Oh my God, do I literally have to teach you how to use email too? Come to the showroom right now. I'm going to give you complete training on Google.
That's when I knew that, like, my last days at this job were approaching. You're going to give me a tutorial on email? All right, bet. I'm like, well, how do you want me to get there? Because at this point I have an attitude and I'm not paying for no Uber to get over there because I don't have no car. And he's like, you don't drive? He got an attitude with me because I did not have a car. So he's like, tell so-and-so to come bring you over here. He drops me off at the showroom. I'm there, and I mean, dude, I was just sitting in the showroom for like a good 15 minutes before he was even ready to train me. So it's like, how can you talk all of this mess and then I come over here and I'm like motivated, I'm pumped up to, like, you know, finally do my job right according to you, and you got me just sitting here waiting? Like, why did I even leave? You know, when the tutorial was over, I was just so over Jojo. Like, I just was like, I felt like my intelligence was insulted. So I was ready to request my Uber, and he was like,
no, I'm gonna drive you back. I need to go back there anyway. Are the samples ready?
I'm like, yeah, they're good. They're good. A lot of my subscribers are women, so I know you have like this like same intuition as me. But it's like, have you ever talked to somebody and they like ask you something like, oh, so you don't have a car? And you kind of feel like, I don't know if I really want to tell you any more information because I feel like this is going to come back and haunt me. And that's literally how I felt in the car on the drive back. Like, he was asking me,
oh, so you don't have a car? Oh, so how do you get to work? Oh, so how long does that take? Oh, so do you not have a license? When's the last time you had a car?
And I'm like, oh my God, like, he's gonna try to paint me out to be unreliable because I do not have a whip. Like, say this happened on like a Tuesday, by Friday I was out of a job. So I know for a fact that he went home and was like, look at this girl's track record. This girl doesn't have reliable transportation. She's not reliable. Everybody knew that I was trying. So like, when it got to like the final situation of like, oh, Brianna, we're gonna have to let you go, I think about that day so much because it was a good day. It was a good day. Like, it was a good day. My coworkers were talking about how, like, you know, every June they go to Vegas and they do like a vendors conference where they like go to a convention center and they talk to all these brands and they promote the business and everything is paid for. And they were like,
look, just stick it out until June. Jojo is really cool. When we go on the trip to Vegas, he's normal. He's not like his regular self. You know, he's not going to treat you like this. Bree, if you quit, I'ma quit. Because if you get fired, this is going to be too much for me. And I already told the boss that.
I tried so hard. And I remember, you know, our smoke break was over, or our 10-minute break was over, and then we were getting in the elevators, and my boss, you know, she pulls up in her beautiful ass Mercedes truck. She gets in the elevator with us. We were all laughing and kikiing. And I don't know if it's like my own personality, but like, I hate when people laugh with me and then like give me bad news or like tell me something shady. Like, why were you even in my face laughing with me if you knew you were gonna fire me? Like, I just hate shit like that. Like, bitch, fire me in the elevator. Like, seriously, like, my boss intimidated me to the point I couldn't even think straight when she came in the room. Like, when she came in the room, I wasn't even sure of something that I was working on for 4 days. And I know that made her unsure, because she's like, damn, I gave you this responsibility and you're not really communicating this to me like you know what you're doing. But she just, I don't really get intimidated. I'm usually intimidating to people. So for me to admit that she intimidated me and I couldn't even think straight is a lot. She was just like, I know you really tried. I know that you were really trying. And if you need a reference, if, you know, you need anything in the future, I know so many people. This industry is so small. I will be more than willing to help you. And I know that she meant it. And when I got fired, I honestly felt so relieved, because I would never have to deal with Jojo again. Like, when I got fired, I felt like, okay, cool. Now I don't have to deal with like their dysfunctional marriage. But at the same time, it felt relieving that I wouldn't be the person that was taking all of the blame. I was stressed out physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Like, seriously, I would wake up and just sleep on the train. I would be so stressed out. There would be nights where I would stay in the office until the lights turned off. And I know that you guys have seen my stories and I have talked so much about not caring about jobs. When I tell you I would stay in the office and work on line sheets and work on fabric samples and ideas and communicate with vendors that were 15 hours away until the lights in the building cut off on me. But hey, that's my story. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and turn that thumbs up blue. Support your girl, so I don't have to work no job like that ever again. Get those fingers moving in the comments below, and please, for the love of God, tell me what your worst job experience was. I was gonna do like my worst job interviews, because I have stories about that too. But for some reason that day where Jojo was like, oh, I'm gonna give you a tutorial on Google Calendar, I've just been dwelling on that day. Like, I can't believe he thought I was that stupid. So I want to know your experiences in the comments below. Get those fingers moving and let off, because from my last video, I could tell that you guys hate working just as much as I do. We're the same kind of girls. So with that being said, I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Till next time.